on it, which talks of the National Disarmament, Demobilization and Rehabilitation Centers, that there's a acclamation, or so many people claim that there's a lot of mismanagement, embezzlement, abandonment of these inmates, and they have been kept in hunger. They go out looking for food to eat and so on. So we are trying to look at what reality is in all this. And so, okay, this time I'll come back to you now. There has been so much talk of embezzlement and mismanagement as far as these DDR centers are concerned. What do you think is ongoing at this time? Let's take these few minutes that we have to talk on this.
Personally, I will look at the question in twofold.
Yeah.
The first fold is the reputation of those who head this commission. And secondly, the precedence to the establishment of this commission. Maybe you permit me start with the latter, because it could help us understand the former. The precedence of the establishment of this commission, the disarmament, demobilization, and reintegration commission, which truly is a peace-building process known from the United Nations as a mechanism to reestablish peace in wards and community. Just that in our case in Cameroon, the steps were jumped because before the establishment of this commission, there was supposed to be a ceasefire, negotiation, and it's when people have accepted to drop arms that you can start reintegrating them in the community, and they are going to help you, or they are going to serve as a medium to sensitize those hectic ones to drop their arms. But in this situation, that is not what was happening. That is not what happened. The government hastily, when they heard that the UN was mobilizing to come for humanitarian aid, and created that commission. It means that a budget for that commission did not exist. They did not care to respect any procedure.
They bought them luxurious cast.
Are we there? So it means that it was a bad pregnancy. It was not a wanted pregnancy. Now, the reputation of those that the government co-opted to head this commission, the former governor of the Vuri, of the Littoral region, and that have equally served as the senior divisional officer of the Vuri, actually left office on suspicious condition. There was a time when the CONAC, the anti-corruption body in Cameroon, did some publication of embezzlement targeting Mr. former Governor Fayengo Francis, who now heads the DDR Commission. And he went on silence for some time when people were expecting that the judiciary should take over. He rather went on silent, and the moment he wanted to surface was when his friend Mr. Paul Biya nominated him as president or coordinator of this commission. And immediately a budget was allocated to them. I don't know whether it's a tune of 5 billion or so, for them to start preliminary works, including other center in Marua and East, where Cameroon is equally having a military attack. And so, security attacks. And so, from the formation to the management, you and I have been able to establish some faults that could be avoided if truly the politics behind the management of this security concern was genuine and of good faith. I have been able to show you the procedure that were supposed to be respected before the establishment of the commission, and equally I have been able to give you a parcours, a lifestyle of the person who is now heading. Now, on an interview he granted to Cameroon Calling this Sunday, he made sure that he prepared the Bamenda team, and they came out powerfully. The sound of their voice was enough to water anybody who was still doubting that they are living well. Because up to about 3 of their leaders came out. Are you not living well? We are living well. It was everything except something to convince somebody who knows that they can. That knows about yellow journalism, which is actually paid content. Okay, so, but the post, if you read the post recently, because it was a post that reported the situation, especially here in Boya, where in the neighborhood we were having already some of the former ex-combatants in the neighborhood begging, holding bags, sacks and moto, telling you that I'm an ex-combatant, I'm in the center where they have sent us out to go and beg for money, we are hungry. We have asked it personally, I'm not just making stories. I've sat in my neighborhood, I've seen young men like that walking. Okay. And now, when you put that information face to face with the echo that was coming from the Northwest, you start asking yourself, is it that they are different center and with different treatment? Is it that we should start targeting but the individual coordinator on site? Could the problem be that, okay, maybe the national coordinator, former Governor Fayengo Francis, is a good manager, but his on-site coordinator are the one embezzling money? Now, you see, it brings a conflicting situation, and you don't know who is doing what. But I will tell you, dear friend, as a way to learn, or my position on the show, is that truly these children are not treated well, are not treated well, and if nothing is done, it will not motivate whosoever was to join them from the bush. Yes. If truly the intention of keeping them there was to gradually persuade those who are still hiding in the bush to join them, then they should know that they have started failing. Secondly, because their reconvention has not been fulfilled, they might become a danger to the society where they are migrating now. Boya recently has some urban crime wave.
That's why I wanted to ask Dr. Busi before I come back
that
to
way
you.
Of cutting me on the air.
Yes, because I want you to take your breath. Don't you think that insecurity might be on the rise, given that these guys have started coming out, and we have a testimony of a man who said he came and was hitting hard on his door before he opened the door, and they were like introducing themselves. So do you see insecurity coming to his heights?
Normally, these people have picked up arms before. And if there's no formation of the mind, if there's no therapist and involving them into mind formation, into changing their mindset, it's possible that they can still pick up arms and they can involve in a high crime wave in our community, because they still have some of the memories as a part of their life, which will take time to come out from their long-term memory. Because we think they're still human beings. At times, when they sleep, they dream, they think about their past life. And it's part of their subconsciousness. Yeah, as in psychologists will say there's what we call the pre-conscious mind, the subconscious mind, and the conscious mind. And I want to say that the subconscious mind is very active. And if you cannot work on the subconscious mind, you will always remind the conscious mind. And I think that what our government is failing here is that you are calling people that you want to reform them. Who are the ones to reform them, Mr. Moderator? You must look for scientists, you must look for therapists, clinicians, psychologists to come and work on the minds of these people. I want to ask you, go to the DDRS centers. How many training centers can we see there to say that these people are learning a job that can help them someday? How many tailoring workshops are there? How many mechanic workshops are there? We need to see all those things that makes them occupied too. Because if they are occupied, they will not be leaving the DDR because it's part of it. Part of DDR is all about formation, because the United Nations also say that after this they should be able to engage in some of this craftsmanship that could help form them after this crisis. And I've not seen, if we are really honest in this country, we are already talking of corruption and mismanagement of funds there. And I've seen situations where we see there are a lot of beggars in Boy. I don't know who is who. Some I will tell you that they are from the prison. Lies. Some of them are the boys. You see people just tell they are from the prison. They are from the prison. They're just asking you money in the street. They're just many. You see guys, there are many with strong. I ask myself, people are looking psychologically healthy.
Yeah.
You see a healthy young man begging for money from one bar to another.
Who can be doing something.
I say that's why I'm saying that the DDR should provide. They have budget. They have a running budget. They should open training centers and employ people, experts there who can train this.
They talk of fish pond. They talk of farming,
agriculture, whatever.
Even
we are talking of agriculture, Mr. Moderator. Agriculture is good. But the truth is that we need something that can be skill development. We can talk skill development so that at the end of the day, these people can open their own workshops and the DDR can even support open their workshops. But now we are not even seeing the centers, first of all, are not first of all looking good. They are not attractive. Some funny buildings.
But the director himself said they have really furnished and a new center is coming up in other places like in Boya. They are already planning for a new construction.
They are planning,
in the Northwest, one is already almost.
The one. But the truth is that can the center, from the way I observe the centers, I mean, they cannot accommodate all of these boys. And I feel that if we are ready for this, Mr. Moderator, accommodating them is one thing, feeding them is one thing, and also the most important thing is working on their mind. And I've not seen where the role of, because in Western countries, you see where psychologists will come out and counselors and even pastors will come and work on the minds of these people. Because pastor can also help spiritually. They need to pray for these people. They should not undermine the aspect of prayers too. Moral rectitude. They need to pray. And then psychologists will not come. They will bring in science, social science to work on their mind.
Okay.
Clinicians will come in and so on.
For the conclusion.
For their fortification of the mind.
I wish to add, the main purpose for these centers to be created was to rehabilitate these guys and make to attract the others who are in the bushes to come. Now, if we look at, Fire Francis said they have about more than 500 of them. Now in the centers. Do you see an improvement as far as their plan is concerned? Do you see it coming to reality?
Mr. Mambo William, I wouldn't really look at the improvement part of it. Look at this gentleman that was in the national dialogue, and after the national dialogue, where is him today? There were many of them there.
Yeah,
and Yannick and others, many of them. And if I ask you, let's see the DDR resident where Yannick is, you will not be able to prove that. I don't know. But the truth is that we just have to be honest. As an Anglophone, I jealously want the Anglophone problem to be solved.
Okay.
And I want a situation whereby some government officials will not just say, this is an ex-Amber without any proof.
Okay.
Because you might say an ignorant man, you lay blame on that person. This is an ex-Amber. The person comes out just for the population to see. At the end of the day, go to the center, don't see the person. So we want a situation whereby we are going to be genuine to solve this problem. And you might say that you want the people to be running and coming to the centers who have more will not be able to accommodate them. But the problem is, if we look for the root causes, we solve the problem, the Anglophone crisis, genuinely through an honest, open dialogue where all parties are there. After that, now we can start the DDR process genuinely. Okay. And then now, any person that doesn't respect the DDR process, the rule of law takes over.
Okay, in 10 seconds, your conclusion, please.
Yes, I will conclude with this word of Socrates that was clearly depicted by his godson Plato, that says, while creating the state, it was not our intention to fabricate a class that permanently live on wealth, but it was to help the majority and by extension everybody to live better. To tell them that, being in the case of Samuel Wazizi, the case of the flourishing violence that we are having today as an expression of frustration of separatist fighters, and the government rigmarole in between, is to tell them that it's because the people are no more satisfied with the management of the city. That is why we have constant revolution from up and down. And there is a way to it. They should appease the community. They should balance the electoral vote so that everybody can participate to the sovereignty of the nation.
Maybe you can use some 10 seconds for your final word.
My 10 seconds starts with the mind. All officials of Cameroon must be genuine. I think that there are people in this, when this crisis started, they have profited. They are going fat, and majority are suffering. And I think that one day you'll be accountable for your acts. And if you want to change, you change now. Whether you're separatist leaders abroad, change now, because you'll be accountable one day. Whether you're a government official, change your mindset now, because one day you'll be accountable. Keep legacies. Make hay while the sun shines.
Dr. Busi, thank you so very much, despite your ill-health, for making it today.
We are together to build our country. With togetherness, we can build Cameroon.
Mr. Njomosiri, thank you so very much for being there.
It was my pleasure. I want also to doff my hat to Dr. Busi for really standing tall during this program.
Dear viewers, we want to so thank this gentleman, giving the rumors that went out, or not rumor, that no, these guys from the underworld were out there, and we saw evidences, and so they still decided to be here to serve you and I. And so I want to thank you too for being there, very faithful to Crossviews on CMTV. You can always watch us on CMTV Buzz. The Buzz is BUZZ, and we shall always get your comments. We want to thank you so very much. See you next time. I've been moderator Mwambo William.